Yeah, good afternoon. I like to share with you a maybe not so popular message. And I refer to that to people like Jeremiah and Isaiah, the prophets. Because what was happening in those days was that Israel, the Jewish people, or well, the Israelite people, they were turning their face from God to idols, to idolatry, and doing all bad stuff. And so God has sent prophets like Jeremiah and Isaiah, and he said, well, turn your face back to God and do what he wants. Because if you're not doing that, then I will send the people of the north, of the northern countries, in this case, in that case, that's about 2,700 years ago, the people of the north will come, the Assyrians and the Babylonians, Nebuchadnezzar and so on, will come and destroy your country. And God said, I will use these people, those heathen people, non-Jewish and not God-worshipping people, I will use them to chastise you and to punish you if you don't turn back to me. And well, that's exactly what happened in the days of Jeremiah, and that Israel was deported to Babylon. Well, there's a big warning in that process, also including in our days. Because what you see is that, again, the Christian Western countries, they turn their face from God, Jesus Christ. I mean, Europe and America were largely Christian nations. But what happens is that the people turn their face from God, Jesus Christ, to all kinds of idolatry. I mean, you got a lot of paganism in Europe right now, in Holland and where I speak from. I can see it in my own environment. There's a lot of paganism and witchcraft and devil worshipping in this country, unfortunately. But the same principle what God used with Israel about 2,500 years ago, 600 BC, before Christ, and the same principle God is using in our days. Because what God is doing is, what we see is that a lot of people who come from different countries than Europe come to our place. And many people disagree and they don't like it. And they're blaming those people. But of course, I have to be honest, I don't agree with their lifestyle and their ways of doing. These people come here and I don't agree in large part with their religion and so on. But they are not the ones to blame. The ones to blame is the Dutch people, is the European people, is the American people. Because the fact that the Western people have turned their face from God to the devil, so to say, is the main reason that God has allowed these people to come here and to be hard on us. Just as in the days of Israel, turning the face from God to idol worshipping and doing bad stuff. The same principle back then applies God to now to Europe and America. People from foreign countries with different gods, with different religions, come here and give us a hard time, yeah, in all kinds of ways. It's not those people to blame. God uses them to punish the Western people and the American people. But it's a warning. Let us be a warning. And as the same thing as in the days of Jeremiah and Josiah, I warn you, please turn your face back to God, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. Well, in the days that Jesus was Christianity was the main religion in Europe and America, our countries were overwhelmingly blessed, the golden ages. Yeah? But now everybody is turning their face away from God, Jesus Christ, to paganism. I mean, there's Wicca here in Europe. There's Reiki here in Europe. There's all kinds of tarot cards laying and witchcraft and all that kind of evil stuff. It's really evil, folks. Then you invite the devil. And the consequence is that that people from other countries with different religions will come here and make it hard on us. That's the same principle as God has used about 2,500 years ago and in the days of Israel. And the same is happening right now. Let this be a lesson for you. If you want prosperity, if you want to have a good life, then turn your face off of paganism and go back to God, Jesus Christ, the God of the Bible. Yeah? If not, then the same what happened to Israel back in those days. They were deported to Babylon. The same will happen here, that you will be conquered by all those people who worship different gods. And then bad situation will happen here in Europe and as in America as well. We see the signs already happening. It may not be too late, but turn your face back to God. That's a warning. Yeah? Let this message be a good warning for you, and take heed of it. Listen to it and turn your face back to God before it's too late. Because otherwise the same punishments that God gave Israel back then, 2,500 years ago, He will do the same thing exactly with America and Europe. So listen to the Bible, listen to God. Otherwise, you're in deep trouble. The trouble is coming already. It started years ago and it's developing more and more. Maybe it's not too late. Repent to God, to Jesus Christ, and turn your face back to God, and then you may prosper. God can be merciful. Okay, this is the message. It's not a popular message. It's not a nice message, but I think it's true nonetheless. Listen to it. Okay. Study Isaiah and study Jeremiah, because the same principles are active right now, right here, right now in Europe and America. So listen to that. To pay attention to what happened back then and learn the lesson from it. Or pay if you don't listen. Okay, that was the message.